good? Okay. All right, let's call this meeting to order. This is the Town Council Work Session on Wednesday, the 24th at 6 p.m. We do have all council members in attendance, and let the record also show that we have Town Administrator Aiken, Town Clerk Hurd, and Public Works Director Edwards. If I could get a motion to approve the agenda, please.
I move we approve the agenda as written.
All right, it's been moved by Councilman Ellis. Second, please.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bitter. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Very good. All right, let's get into it. Discussion items 3A, Administrator update. This might take the longest. We'll see.
All right, if I'm going too fast or too slow, just let me know. But it's been a bit of a challenging week with a lot of projects we have going on with the Vail. On Cedar Drive, they sent in a water sample today, and if it comes back clean tomorrow, it's got to be out for 24 hours. Then they'll do the tie-ins up there. We were hoping that would have been done a month ago, but we're still here. So that's where that line is at. We're just waiting for the sample to come back. We're hoping by the end of next week they'll be off of that project. We had a couple issues at Elkhorn there. Basically, what it comes down to is the company that did that project before didn't put some clamps on our 10-inch pipe there. And when the Vail dug down, disturbing the dirt, it kind of loosened things up and stuff started coming off a little bit at a time. So there was one leak there on the 2-inch line, and then we had a 6-inch line coming out of the 10 that blew out. So it just kind of kept going even into today, which has been very problematic for manpower and everything else. So it just kept cascading. But they were working on putting the cement vault in there this afternoon. Hopefully, I don't think they'll be done till tomorrow, but hopefully.
Yeah, it was still a big open hole.
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
It wasn't nearly that big until the water blew it.
Yeah.
It really made a good size hole there.
Yeah.
So hopefully tomorrow
Okay.
they'll get that done.
Have we had many people out of water though up there? I know, like, we didn't really seem to be out of water, but I know, did you?
We're fine.
So we did have some.
Some.
I delivered some water yesterday, but it was mainly at the top of, I can't remember.
The Snow Forest or something, yeah.
Just up at the top of Alpenwood.
Oh, okay, okay, up
Okay.
there,
Way up.
okay.
And it takes a little bit of time because given that's uphill, you have to open fire hydrants and purge the air out. You open those valves back up. So we've done that twice now. Great learning experience. But hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
So moving on to our water system. Last Thursday, we're not entirely positive why, but our SCADA system went down, and we didn't get any alerts, and the guys, and we didn't get any alerts, low tank, anything like that. So the way we discovered this, Zach, our tank cleaning was scheduled. It kept getting moved a couple days because they had emergencies, and when Zach went up Saturday morning, he opened up the tank. There wasn't much water in it, in this small gray one. Then we opened up the large one. There was not any water in that one either. So Zach called. We went up there trying to figure it out, and we're not sure if it was a router issue. Internet could have went down temporarily, and SCADA didn't come back online. It could have been a Microsoft update. Could be a lightning strike or any type of thing like that. It could be sensitive enough that the program didn't restart. So what we've done, and it shouldn't have been an issue. We have a battery backup there, but that also failed. So what we're trying to do to combat that is multiple stuff. We purchased new battery backups. They just got here. We'll have Scott put one in tomorrow, hopefully, so that won't fail. So if the computer goes down, that battery backup should keep SCADA up and going. We had Silver Star come in and look at our routers. They thought they were okay. Scott kind of doesn't, so out of an abundance of caution, we're probably just going to replace our routers down there. We did discover that our internet's running at 5 meg and it should be at 30, so Silver Star's looking into that for us. Try to figure that out. I also have a friend who's a network engineer who's going to come in next week sometime and just look at our setup there and offer some suggestions. And everything we kind of learned from this, we're documenting in a manual, in case it ever happens again. How to get stuff rebooted and back up. So, our Green Canyon tank was also pretty low. We were almost at a kind of a crisis level there, but.
So this happened like last
Just
January,
start-
February, right? Like, I remember we had a meeting and, Hugh came in and during the weekend and found that it was offline as well.
So there was a time when it did go off. I don't remember when it was. We did have a power outage in April, about the 22nd-ish, where we had an issue there. Didn't get quite this level, but it was close. So we did, I know Councilman Ellis had some questions on what if all the pumps are running, how much PSI. Well, we got that down now. So we didn't have any problems. Everything worked well. It was a good learning lesson, but it was kind of, Zach and I didn't have a very good weekend, so.
No, just, I mean, so everyone knows, Zach and Trevor and I guess, I don't know if, Clay basically took shifts and stayed overnight to make sure as the pumps were running and getting the tanks full to make sure the SCADA, you know, didn't have another glitch and shut things off again, so,
Thank you, Zach.
it was a long weekend for
Thanks.
them.
But that's the steps we've taken to get in front of it. And the tank cleaners came back Sunday morning and they were able to, despite all the lightning and having to stop, they were able to get both tanks inspected and cleaned. Their report should be coming in anytime. And we'll provide that. There's a lot of stuff we learned there. And we'll get that out when it comes in. But there's also on Monday, the 15th, our EPA level 2 inspection occurred, and we're still waiting for that report to come in. I talked to Jamie Harris at the EPA. She's going to be in and out of the office, so that report might be delayed for a couple of weeks. We don't get that directly. It comes via the EPA in a letter of things we need to work on. So as soon as I get it, you'll have that as well. So other things that I sent out on last week's update, but we purchased a new SCADA program from Simply SCADA. They're building that. Scott was working on getting them some information today. And that should be up and running, we hope, within the next 6 weeks. They're trying to prioritize us, and we'll let you know when as that moves along. And we also signed an agreement to purchase the large flow meters. Those are probably about within the next 6 weeks as well. And we ordered new chlorine pumps because the one we have at Fox Run Well, I didn't have a lot of confidence in. And so we just got 4 because we have 3 wells and a spring. And the concern is, what I was told when I got here is, well, this is only an emergency well, we don't need to worry about it. Well, we had an emergency where we had to turn on the pumps. We can have all that stuff ready and in case we ever need it. So moving on to the fun part here. Let's talk about our road projects. So unfortunately, we had kind of a catastrophic mistake. Last Thursday, we ran one of our dump trucks into the other one while we were paving Vista, which halted the entire project. We took our large white dump truck out of commission because we tore the front end up on that, and that's going to take some time to get repaired. We also destroyed the spreader on the rear of our blue dump truck, and so looking at all options on how we can get back in the game and finish this project this fall. Zach's been on the phone forever trying to find a piece of equipment we can rent or a contractor or whatever. We can't find anybody that has what we need or can get it here in a timely manner. So, we can take the spreader off the white dump truck and put it on the blue one, but the blue dump truck is very small. So to complete that project would take weeks instead of hours. Run one dump truck back and forth to the shop to pick up rock is pretty time consuming. So we've done everything we can. And the best solution we can come up with is, and this is what we want to do. I don't want to have to report any of this stuff. But, Zach has found a rock spreader that we could purchase in California. It's a machine that drives along the road, the dump trucks back up to it, the dump rock into it, and it just lays the rock down on the tar as we set it down. And we've got a quote here, and it would cost us roughly, sorry, wrong one here. These things cost about $500,000 to purchase, and we looked at all the stuff in the beginning, we couldn't find one we could afford at the time, so we went to dump truck spreaders. Good thing we have insurance, but including shipping on this, to get it here would be $32,750. And Jamie, do you have a photo of that you can pull up?
Is that the red?
Yeah, the Bearcat.
Yeah.
So this would, hopefully, if we purchase this and could get it here, this would, hopefully next week is gonna hold up around 70 degrees. The roadway's gotta be 45 plus the ground, to be able to put tar on for the tar to stick. And this would allow us to spread rock out there and get the project done next week if the weather holds and this shows up on time and doesn't get damaged in shipping or something. So this is the quickest solution we can come up with, and it's not just a rapid solution. This is a piece of equipment that would make our chip seal project more efficient in the future. It would be used for all the projects we do chip seal on. So that's the best thing we could come up with.
And if I understood correctly, we can also use it for other things other than just spreading chips for the chip seal, is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be road based too.
Okay.
So when will it be?
When we'll be here, Zach's been on the phone constantly with us. They had two of them, one of them sold this morning, but
Yeah. If it's approved, and as soon as it's approved, I'll send the email, and he'll get it first thing, and he'll try everywhere in the world. Of course, it's, with the pavement, if we get everything in, he'll try his best to have it on the truck tomorrow evening. It could possibly be here by Saturday. Yeah.
So what do we need to do to get it on its way?
Well, I think I wanted Trevor and Zach here to present it as an option. I mean, not just to get us out of the jam that we got ourselves into with dump trucks, to be able to finish Vista potentially this fall, which is what we said we wanted to do, but then also to really give us enhanced capability when we get back to it in the spring, right? To put other layers down on 21 and get 5 done, and then going forward, it would just really enhance the capability. And I know, as Trevor mentioned, the new ones cost, upwards of $250,000 or so. And I know previously, I believe Zach was kind of looking at this, but when they were putting together their whole, we think we can do chip seal if we buy these pieces of equipment, but he couldn't find one that would have, been affordable. And then, since then, this has come up. But anyway, so I wanted the council to hear it and hopefully support it, because I think it would be a good thing for the town to have to give us more capability. But, I'm not going to just go tell them to go ahead and buy it. I would like the council's buy-in on us doing this too, so.
From my perspective, it's gonna cost us probably, what, $15,000 to replace the spreader for the small dump truck?
10 to 15, somewhere in there.
There's some insurance we hope to get back
And the insurance
on that.
would cover part of that. And then if we can't get the tar down, we gotta ship the tar back out, bring it back, that's another $4,000 or $5,000. That's $20,000 out of the 33. So to me, it makes the most sense to go ahead and purchase this.
We've got 1,750 gallons of tank right now in our truck.
Right.
We're keeping it warm in the shop, we're heating it every day.
And it's
And that would just, with the single layer, that would finish up Vista pretty close for single layer.
Yeah.
But with this machine here, with the tractor we have, all I gotta do is call, the the tack company, they'll run us another 4,500 gallon in, and then I'll finish the double layer on 21, and we'll finish the second layer on this, and that will get us through until next spring.
providing the weather holds.
Yeah.
But if the weather doesn't hold and we've got to get it out of here, the tack out of here, it's gonna cost us money to ship it out
Yeah.
and then bring it back. cause we can't leave it in the truck.
You know, it's $2,000 and they charge us so much per gallon to pump it back,
So,
you know.
And I had sent out earlier today, just so the council could see exactly where we were on what has been spent so far, as opposed to what we budgeted for these 3 projects. And so we're still, in my opinion at least, we're well within what we were expecting,
oh, by
with the
far.
exception of this new piece of equipment, which we hadn't previously discussed until tonight. But I do think it would be a good thing for the town to have if the council would support
If,
doing it.
if you took the equipment we already bought, the 20,000 spreaders plus the 60 on the truck, or the tar truck, moved it over to the Plat 21 project, you'd be at 125,000 spent on a budget of 200,000, add 32 to it, you're still well under budget on the 21.
Right, and that, you're looking at that just because those were intended to be chip seal
Chip seal.
projects to begin
And
with.
this is again, chip seal equipment, so put it under the right kind of
We're
categorization.
still projected, me and Trevor's talking, we've all 3 talked, we're still projected to have all 3 projects completed for under 350,000. That's all 3, that's Vista, 21, and 45.
Okay.
We're, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
I think as long as Vista is done, I mean, obviously we don't have broad powers to control weather and all that stuff, but if this is going to fix Vista next week, then we buy it. If it wasn't going to fix it next week, I would have a hard time justifying it because I just really feel like we need to get our projects done that we had already projected and told our people that we were gonna do. And I know in the fiscal year, but the goal was to get it done now. And so our citizens are expecting that, and if this will do that, I think we definitely should. I also in the future think that if this is a project that is contingent on something like this, we can call an emergency meeting and have us come in, so this could have already been here. You know, I just feel like we can definitely come together for that if we need to. Just so it's like they're not under pressure and the weather's not under pressure and all of the things. Because I think we need to start completing these things we're saying we're doing, especially when it's at a cost but not astronomical cost.
What do you think, Katie?
I'm good, are we at a loss for what we lost with the dump trucks, like the spreader, are you gonna have to replace that?
We won't have to replace the one spreader, we can put, the small dump truck works great for corners and tiny roads and things like that. It'll also work great for when we dig major pits across or whatever. I mean, we still have use for that spreader, but we don't need a second spreader if we have this machine.
Okay, I would make make a motion, whatever you want to call it. We go ahead and authorize the expenditure of up to 35,000 for this spreader piece of equipment. Get it here as quickly as possible.
That was the goal being us paving next week.
Yeah,
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
sorry, chip sealing.
Yeah,
Yeah, as long as the
That's the goal.
temperature.
If we don't,
I
we
know we
will not
can't-
get this project done next week any other way. And if
Okay.
we would wait till spring and look for something else, but this piece of machinery would be excellent for all of our chip seal projects.
I understand, which I'm happy that will help with the future. I'm most concerned about getting this done. So that's our goal, getting this,
Yeah.
to do this the next week.
so there's a motion from Councilman Ellis to authorize the procurement of the Bearcat gravel spreader, if that's what you call that device.
Yes.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Any questions from the public? Okay. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Councilor.
Does that mean you can send the email right now?
It's on its way.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Council. I think that's a good decision and.
It's the right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do, so. All righty. What else do you have, Mr. Town Administrator?
All right, let's see. So continue on with roads, and I just wanna say that experience is the professional name that we give to our mistakes. So we gained some experience through this, and it's unfortunate and embarrassing, and we own that, but I appreciate you guys understanding, and we learned some stuff from this, but, moving on to, the nasty word of winter is on the way, but there was a lot of talk before I was here about a snow gate to go on our grader, and that was not, everything it was research would suggest for where we live and the unique challenges we have, that wasn't a viable option. It would have made us less efficient taking the grader and having to jumble equipment on and off of it and everything. But there's a new product out that I sent out last week for everyone to see that works on a loader, which we have 2 loaders, and Craig is now making a plow that has snow gates on the side. So Jamie, if you wouldn't mind bringing up the photos here. This is the gate down right here. It's a little bit taller than the plows we currently have. You show the other photo as well. It's a straight blade. The 2 plows we have been well used and a little bit neglected in the past, so they don't have a ton of life left in them. But we also have a little video. It's kind of grainy and everything, but the idea is when you go by a driveway, you put the gate down and it helps reduce what's left for a berm. Here's the video they have. It's the only one I can find because these are fairly new, within a year, so I'll give a little demo here. Ours is just a straight,
Yeah, we don't have
articulate
to
like
double,
that,
yeah.
but plowing along, hit a driveway, the gate comes down, so. You pass the driveway, gate comes up, right?
Be life-changing.
This would be,
We don't plow when there's only like 2 inches of snow like that.
Yeah.
but-
no,
Right.
but this would be huge for everybody that complains about the burns.
Yeah. Now, I just wanna point out, we have other equipment. We do have a grader, we do have a dump truck, and we have a 5500 that we're putting a plow on. So the loaders will not get to every residence every day or every time it snows.
Totally understand.
And it won't guarantee that there won't be some snow that's left in the driveway. But I think this will have a significant impact on the berms.
Yeah. Just eliminate the 3-foot high ones and you win,
Sure.
right? Yeah.
If we go ahead and do this, we're gonna need to make sure that people know to clean beyond their driveway on the end that the snowplow goes, because when that gate comes back up, it's gonna be one whale of a pile. So you gotta have some place on the side of your driveway for that snow to go.
Yeah, this is gonna present some challenges, and we use the blower where we can to widen roads and things. This will present some unique challenges that, I haven't discussed that in detail with Zach, but we're gonna have to come up with some further information.
I mean, it's just it would change the way we do snow plowing business in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Giving residents, information on, it's gonna improve this, but to make it even better, maybe you should do that, once we figure it out. So I think you probably got some updated numbers from your email that you sent out on Monday, potentially.
So we're looking at, all things considered, they're gonna give us $2,000 trade on the plows that we have, so we're looking at 88,000, Zach, was that right?
Yeah.
To get both plows here, and they have to wire a toggle switch in both loaders, so all things, get those plows here, would be $88,000.
And they would install them, is that right?
They install, they put the third switch in, everything. Cat will be installed. We don't do nothing.
I'm sorry, what was the figure?
88,000,
That they were gonna give us for it?
2,000 per.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, for our old plows, yeah.
They're pretty old and
Pretty beat up.
They're right at
Scrap.
8-year-old.
Scrap metal.
How long would this one last? Is this the lifespan of this supposed to be?
8-10 years, depends on how they're used,
Yeah. Question,
Are the same guys operating the dump trucks?
There's only one
I was
operator.
just kidding.
So our issue here is we do not have this budget.
No, we don't.
So,
So I think that would be the other question here for the council to think about, is if we want to authorize this, since we didn't specifically budget to buy snow gates or new plows, where potentially we would take this from, or, do we need to make, I don't know that we need to make an amendment for it. Seems like we have extra money right now in roads based on all the work we're doing to do our own chip
Yeah.
sealing. But I don't know if there's anything problematic about that.
we had a road truck plow in here for 10,000,
Hey,
but that's
we're purchasing that plow for our
Okay.
5,500 pickup.
Okay. And then dump truck upgrades of 20,000. And that's different too, right?
I don't know if we have a plan for that. We do have a dump truck to repair. We'll see what the insurance is on that, so I don't.
Well, yeah.
Question, our old plows, Jamie, if you bring the second picture of this new one back up again?
Like that one?
Yep. If I remember correctly, our current plows have a big, heavy steel piece across the bottom, and we've broken that a couple of times. I don't see that on this plow. Is that just not installed?
That's, you're talking about the feet on the other, the feet,
Yeah.
the back pads. And that's one thing that we've replaced multiple times. And it's fixing to get to where we have to completely, the old plows completely redo every bit of that.
They're
Because it's just
broken.
weld on top of weld. Yeah. These, if you look on the back, well, you can't see the back of that picture, and I don't know if Jamie's got with the new ones, it's got the skids on the back, but it ain't feet. It's
Okay.
skid plates, and you can see the bottom of your wing right there.
Yeah.
That's got a skid plate on it too, that's what's called wire bar. And,
Oh, yeah.
excuse me with my, but anyway, and this plow is set up for when we start doing cutting cow, moving slush, we can run, rubber cutting edges instead of steel on chip seal. You do the 1.5 inch, rubber cutting edges that, the village uses on their equipment. And two sections of cutting edges, they're $160-some a piece, and they're a lot, I mean, pretty good raw, you know.
Yeah.
So that's another thing with this, and that plow has one wing. Our plow have this double wing, both on each side. So as the loader goes down the road, he gets this driveway, when he gets past it, if there's another one on that side, he don't have to turn around and come back down. He can shoot the other side with the double wing, do the same thing.
So you're going ahead and hiring new employees that are big at gaming, so they can work both hands?
All my guys shoot straight.
Shoot, straight.
So Zach, with your experience in Jackson, using these, it wasn't very good. Do you really think these are that much different than those? or-
Yeah, the biggest thing about the ones that was on the graders up there is the hydraulic cylinders is small. And as you're going down, if it catches like a driveway, an asphalt driveway, it breaks that cylinder. These cylinders here, they're overbuilt good, you know, because of this. And if you look, you can see how that skid kind of, it sticks at the front, kind of tapers down. It's made to do that. It's got what they call it's a relief, hydraulic relief. If it hits something hard, it'll jump up, go back up on over it. Where the other ones would just
It
get
just hit it.
solid. You know, I've had them where they'll completely just turn the motorboard on the motor grader. They hit so hard, yeah, yeah.
So I think really the only, well, first of all, how does the council feel about us moving ahead to try and get these before the winter season? And then if we're supportive of doing that, we just need to figure out, do we need to make a budget amendment, or how do we want to?
I would do a budget amendment and then just have the other projects come in below plan. I know, it's all
Right, but I
washes
mean,
together,
it's,
but do it formally.
sure.
Yeah, that's what I
I
would
mean, since
recommend.
it's $88,000 is a
Yes.
pretty big change.
I mean, we would have to, sounds like we would have to replace them probably next year. This would be on our,
Yeah, so the alternative is we
anyway.
wait
Yeah.
and do it in next year's budget.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I mean,
We're just-
that is
we're
an
just moving it
alternative.
forward.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a huge problem for our citizens. And if there's any berm relief, we might be looked at in a more positive light.
Mm-hmm, I agree.
Well, we have, interestingly, because the 1st of October is on a Wednesday, we have a little more time between this work session and when we have our town council meeting in October, so it's not till October 14th. So if the council wanted to approve this, I think we have time to work up what the budget amendment would look like, so that the council can take a look at it, so
Okay.
if needs be.
How long will it take to get them once they're ordered?
5 to 6 weeks to.
They say 5 to 6 weeks build out, but Clark is building 2 now. Not,
Or Craig, is that
I
correct?
mean,
Craig.
Craig is building 2 now. That was some of the pictures.
Yeah,
They didn't make it to the slide, but yeah,
And so they're working with Caterpillar, is that what they're the
Yes.
partnership there on that device?
I've been talking to Ken a lot, Jared's is the salesman there, and I've been asking stuff like this, and they just partnered with them on it. Bonneville that's the plow they own right now. As soon as we can get a minute, me and Trevor, some of the guys will go there and look at that. But I've seen enough, and like I said, they brought the president of the company in to talk to me and Trevor about these plows. And like I said, Bonneville really likes them. They just use that one just in cul-de-sacs for,
Yeah.
you know,
I think
and
it makes
I files and stuff.
When I went and saw them last year, they were using it almost everywhere, it was crazy.
And one reason why the double side is when they come to intersections, you put both sides down and just go straight through and box the intersection. Here at Town Hall, over first response, you're not having to make multiple trips because this is a 12-foot blade. So, I mean, you take pretty big swipes and everything, you know, so.
So at this point, we don't have to vote on it, they'll just create a budget amendment that we'll vote on
At the.
Later.
Yes,
at the next one.
yes, that would,
Right?
I mean, did you have thoughts on that? I saw you kind of shaking your head a little bit, like.
Yeah, I'm the oldest guy here, and I don't remember anybody ever not plowing my driveway in. So, how big of an issue is it for the town, is what it comes down to.
Save Taylor.
So if the council agrees, we'll work on a budget amendment that would be put forward at
Yeah.
our October 14th meeting. Now, I guess the thing there though means technically we won't have approved it until then, and that's how many weeks away? 3 weeks away, so we wouldn't really be able to order them until, for another 3 weeks, but.
Yeah.
We normally don't need them until like January, February.
So it should,
Right.
we should still be within the window, I would hope, so.
Well, the key is if they're building them now, somebody else doesn't come in and snap them up.
Right.
So just stay on their speed dial, that, yeah.
I was gonna say, if you've looked at the reservoirs around the area, you better hope we get it long before January, the snow.
Just remember, it's 5 or 6 week build time, plus Cat has to get it scheduled for them to come in and do stuff,
Yeah.
to do everything. They just ain't gonna draw and come in, so,
So,
I mean, that's up to you all.
So they need full payment, and like, you can't just call them tomorrow and be like, so we're in, we just have to go through the
Just
steps.
go through Cat Financial, I mean, if you just don't wanna buy it straight out,
You mean, you're
that's
talking
up
about
to
leasing?
you all.
You're talking about leasing?
Yeah,
I don't think that's what you
yep.
no, yeah.
was asking, but, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
See if you can get it kind of reserved,
Yeah.
bottom line.
I don't know, what she's asking is, would they invoice it when they deliver it, or do we need to make an upfront payment?
It's, the last email I got is, once I get hold of Jared, tell him that Ken's gonna go forward, then the paperwork will come in to go to the mayor if it's a straight buyout. You know, then it's, you know, it's whatever, however they got.
So there wouldn't be a down payment, it's basically the payment to hold the order in place.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
so, yeah,
Or I can step out just a minute and get hold of Jared and see how that would work. I mean, it's up to you all.
I think I mean, I do tend to agree that the cleanest way to do it is the budget amendment. I mean, it'd be great if we could go ahead and like get it on order, but they gotta understand we wouldn't be able to write them a check until the 14th at the earliest of October,
yeah.
so.
I think that's what they need to be communicated with, and if they know that that's what's gonna happen, then we just gotta go through our formal protocol, they'll hold, I mean, they'll move forward.
We're pretty good relationship there, we'll call
Okay.
them in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so that'll be the plan for that going forward.
Good.
Good news. Okay? Is that the end of your,
Unless anybody has any questions, yeah, we'll probably pause there and there's nothing for it.
I just have a question, because last night I drove by Clark Lane, and I thought the way that is combed out was very sketchy. So is
Like-
that a safety, like, flashing light right at the end of Elkhorn?
oh, that's where that water break
Where the
is.
water
water
break
break
is.
is,
And I
yeah.
don't know if it got better today, but last night I was like, oh my God, it's dark. somebody could have gone through that pretty easily.
I didn't think about that at night, so they hadn't put anything out there.
There
Well,
were columns,
no.
but
columns.
it's just,
Yeah,
it's a
so
one-lane road and it
I've
was,
made complaints before, especially on, Prater, just down the street there,
Yeah.
cause they just left the pit there with 2 cones, and it's a weird situation where we're technically not supposed, we can't be involved in what they have going on.
Right, because
So
they're
that's not
in
us.
charge of the
Well,
road.
On the
Yeah.
road, it's, on the, what they're doing, but you can still put
We
markers up.
can, so, I don't know that we have any lights or anything,
just
but it's
gotta
one of those
come
weird situations where we could have some liability,
I'll
but
go
we
back
asked
to
them to do whatever. And I'm sure they're gone for the day, but we'll get out of here, I'll see.
and they're supposed to have that wrapped up tomorrow-ish.
You know, I've been told tomorrow for like 3 months on a lot of projects they're doing, so hopefully tomorrow, but I cannot guarantee.
Yeah, there's some kind of light.
So we do have the water meeting with them tomorrow.
We do.
So we could emphasize that they really should do something to make it more visible if it's gonna still be out there like tomorrow night or through the weekend for that matter. Like, whether they do it or not is another matter, but, okay. Did I,
Yeah, we don't have to make payment until the 11th. And he said he went ahead.
Perfect.
But he went ahead and ordered them,
okay,
so
great,
we don't have to make payment until they get.
This is the way
Okay.
things work.
excellent.
You don't need a PO or anything else, you just go.
All right, thank you very much for checking on that, Zach. Okay, any other questions for Mr. Aiken?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, moving on, the next item on the agenda, also for the October 14th meeting, there's a recommendation coming from the Planning Commission, which you have a copy of the memo here. The Planning Commission is recommending approval of the Star Valley Ranch Association amended plat application where they want to combine those 4 lots in plat 17 together, the playground area. So this is just the plat amendment lot combination part of the process. The rezone is still coming later. So just wanted to give the council a heads up on that. The council will have to vote on whether we want to formally approve that or not, but the recommendation from the Planning Commission is to approve. And then, just while we're on that subject, the council won't see anything on the, to approve the zoning, request for zoning change until January meeting. It's just a longer timeline. So, are there any questions on that? Okay, I haven't emailed this out, but you'll get that when the packet comes out, but I just wanted everyone to have sort of an advance copy of the memo.
Okay.
Okay? All right, Public Works spending policy. Councilman Bitter, I know you sent that out, and I think there was another, you sent out another quick update on
Yeah,
that
we
one.
changed the now, if we agree, this is just, everything's proposed, do we agree that it should be probably just Public Works Department head? I don't think the treasurer or anybody else
No.
needs to have this.
Because
It's just really
Trevor's got the,
one department
yeah.
head.
Mhm.
Are we okay with that?
Fine with that.
Yeah.
Just label it Public Works
Mhm.
Department head.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Or director.
Is it,
Isn't that his
It is, yes,
official-
title,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that right?
I
Yeah.
can change it.
Yeah,
I'll change
So
it
it's
to director.
referring just-
Okay, yep.
okay.
And
I'll give you a version
I would
6.
say the 50,000 still seems excessive to me. I just feel like we can accomplish a lot with a lower amount. And just to pay discretionary, like 50,000 for any of us to choose, I just think it's an excessive amount. Especially with this being the first time we're having a policy, I would like to see it lowered just for a year or two till we kind of understand the use of it. And I also would think that things like even the walk spreader that came up, like that's something we can gather for, so if it was over any amount we choose, like I think we're all available enough to be here to
Yeah.
vote on that sooner so that it's not delayed in allowing them to complete their jobs. So I understand the purpose of this, but I don't understand the purpose of the amount, because the purpose of it was to actually make sure that we're spending wisely and that large of amount to be discretionary to one person, it just seems high.
Yeah, the second way I was looking at it is if you have 3 projects during the year that come up, right, that equal up to 50,000, you can't exceed 50,000 cumulative, right? And I'm not quite sure how you
See,
would
again,
write that.
again, that takes away the whole idea that they're able to spend.
That much money, yeah.
I mean, it's not the amount, it's more like so that it's not just nobody else is really aware of it, it's coming in writing. I think possibly it should actually, if it's coming in writing, it can be scanned and sent to the rest of the council so we're all aware, just that it's even happening. And then, you know, I understand at that point, the policy is saying these people are deciding, and that's fine. I'm just saying, putting a cap at 50,000 again, to me, makes it so that if they have to spend 20,000 here, 20,000 there, and another 20,000 here, it's not the fact that they need to spend it that is concerning. It's so that somebody isn't spending any amount without the discretion of the council if that amount needs to be approved, which is where it's at 50,000, they can, by any, you know, whoever has discretion over it is that one person making that decision. So, and I personally wouldn't want that high of an amount for myself to decide for somebody else's money, but that's just my thought on it.
Did the finance board have any input on the amounts?
They were fine based upon the fact that there could be multiple instances, okay? But it wouldn't exceed, and you have to have the excess to be able to spend the money. Everything else would come through kind of like what we've had to do tonight,
Yeah, and-
exactly like this.
Another point of view, if Zach had already had this in in place, you would probably have that chip sealer halfway here by now.
I understand, but that's also what I'm saying, like, him making that one decision for $30,000 maybe isn't the best and how the council would look at it. Because quite honestly, if it wasn't gonna be able to get Vista done, I wouldn't be on board with that.
That's why I'm saying, because Vista still may not be done,
The
depending
thought
on the
is-
weather.
No, I understand, no, now, hold on a second. I am understanding that depending on weather, depending on incidences that are out of our control, that is one thing. But if, we wouldn't be purchasing this to sit in a garage over winter to just rot. No, we would be buying it to use it, or else we would
Agreed.
wait. So that's what I'm saying.
And
Like-
given this time of the year, the sooner we can get it there, the better chance we've got of being able to use it.
Exactly, so it doesn't have to do with the policy as much as it would have been better for us to all gather a week ago when all of this incident was occurring. I guess is what I'm trying to say, like, I do want the end point for them to be able to get things that they need, but it's also my fiscal responsibility to make sure it's not just out there to be spent. And unfortunately, my responsibility, I failed at it for the first 2 years, I'm trying to do it better. So that's why I wanna make sure this policy is actually doing what I at least personally intended it to do, which was protect money to be used smartly, not just because one person says it should be, but because we all need it to go in the direction it should.
Yeah. Our intent with trying to have all the paperwork, all the support and everything was to document it all appropriately. But I hear your concern on what is the right amount? Like, I mean, you want Zach to be able to do an auction if something that we need anyway comes up, right? And it's, you know, gonna expire in 3 hours.
Well, and we
Right.
wouldn't need a rock spreader normally because we have the ability,
Yes.
you know what
Agreed.
I'm saying? So
Agreed.
that's what I'm saying, like, now we need that. I just think it would have been helpful for them to get a week ago, but this policy being at 50,000 or whatever, I mean, I don't know if I would have felt comfortable with them just going out and buying it if it wouldn't have been getting Vista done. So I think that's my concern. And this is just an instance because also all the instances we've talked about over the last 6 months have all been a lower amount. Like it was 17,000, now it's this, it's like, I feel like they've been a lot lower.
Well, since this is a first policy of this type out of the gate, how does the council feel about, let us maybe adjust the amounts that are in there for the 3 different levels, you know?
I'm fine with
We
that. I don't
also-
know what the right amount is.
Yeah, there's a provision in there that says we wanna look at it every year anyway,
Yeah.
right? So we wanna start at a lower threshold, like 10, 20, 30 versus 15, 25, 50, whatever the right number is. But I do think we should put this in place,
At least it's
something
there.
that the council
It's there.
feels is,
And we may
you know,
never use it.
would be useful. We might
Yeah,
not, yes.
Yeah, that's the point. do you think it would, what's a good level?
Well,
do you
before
think?
today, I thought 20,000 was good, but now I'm like, well, maybe 30 because box sweaters are expensive too.
Yeah.
I just feel like to start with, and honest to goodness, if in 6 months it's not working, that's fine too for us to.
Oh, yeah,
go over
yeah,
it.
it's a policy.
I just feel like we should be moving forward wisely with this because the purpose is so we don't wind up in a bad spot with our citizens
Yeah.
and what we're trying to accomplish. And I do think telling them they can only do 50,000 as a cap is, I don't know if that's really the best because it really does then keep them handcuffed to, you can't go over that. And the point was, so they weren't.
Okay, so why don't we, I mean, the proposal, let's lower them down, you said 10,
20, 30.
10, 20, 30? Let's start with that, just see what, and then anything above 30,000, we're gonna have this conversation just like we had tonight, right?
Yep.
That makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
Okay.
Okay, good,
Right.
10, 20, 30,
So let's, if you can make those updates
yep.
from a administrative standpoint, I feel like the council ought to vote to put this policy in place. Is that a, yes, okay, so, but we don't have the final draft in front of us yet?
October 14th.
So at the next
We'll
work
do
session?
it at the next one. and
Or
it'll
at the
go
next
into
council meeting?
effect. Okay, okay,
All right, thank you.
okay.
Very good. Any other questions on that one? It was a good discussion. Okay, next on the agenda is the second reading of ordinance 2025-07, which is the one that is looking to make modifications to the commercial zone. We had the first reading last month, and there's a change proposed by Councilman Ellis to change one of the conditional uses. I think it's item 28, from a not permitted to a conditional use, which would mean it would still have to go through the conditional use application permitting process
And be approved by the.
by the
appropriate
council.
board.
Yes, that's, I believe in our ordinance, that still ends up coming before the council for final approval. So that's one of the changes that's on the table. The planning commission last night had a couple of others that I haven't had time to try and write in there. Right now, as far as the second reading version, I think, Ms. Heard, we had until the 30th of September, so basically to the end of,
I would have it up 10 days before.
Yeah.
Means 14th, so as long as it's out by the 4th.
yeah, okay. So there's some time still to make some additional changes, and I need to, like I said, give some more to Jamie to incorporate from the planning commission. And they were mostly things about the conditional use process. Let me pull up the email before if I can find it. Here it is. They had some input about wanting to be certain that as part of the conditional use process, that conditions around traffic, noise, lighting, and hours should be more explicitly noted. There is some language that's in the conditional use process portion of the zoning ordinance, but I don't know how robust it is compared to what they were talking about last night. So I was gonna go take a look at that and then make a few recommendations.
My question comes down to what is the process for getting a conditional use approved? Because if we go along with the proposed change that I have in 28, that's an architectural issue. And I would prefer that somebody like the planning commission make a recommendation to the council rather than the council being the only one approving or disapproving the conditional. Because you want the architecture to be consistent with the town.
So I think normally in a conditional use permit, like when you issue rules, it also is like the safety and everything of the people around. So that's a whole other,
Yeah, but apartments above or below the main floor, that safety issue is all dealt with in the building codes, et cetera.
no, not with, as far as parking, as far as noise ordinances and different things like that. I'm talking like overall, not, I think that's the reason I hesitate. And I'm all for businesses, so I'm not trying to be negative against that. My concern is two things. This, what we're doing right now is for the Bitcoin, and I think it's very important it goes through. I would like to keep the ordinance as is because I want to vote that through. But to change an ordinance like 28 to permitting like apartments above or below. I don't know that that's even in our master plan or our future master plan, if people are really wanting that. I think the safety around parking and our noise ordinance, lighting, and also aesthetics, because.
Lighting is covered, noise is covered, parking is already covered in the ordinances.
You don't know how much parking and infrastructure that's going to require, right? So I think that even that, like, should be considered through the county, like, is that something we're going to be able to
It's
take
not the
on?
county's issue, that's our issue.
So as far as having apartments on top of a building, I think that we don't know a thing about that, so just asking the county about that as far as like infrastructure, if we're going to be able to handle that as a place would be good. Because they probably put more in
It's not a
a
county issue.
Okay, well, we don't have to ask them, but I'm saying, I don't think any of us know what we're getting into when we commit that without actually researching it a lot more. It's more than just allowing somebody to do that. Because 4 months ago, we wouldn't allow this poor guy who lives here, who just wanted to put an extra building in and put a room in upstairs. And now you are saying that it's okay to put something above
No,
commercial property.
I mean, the change he's proposing is conditional, so that means that is not a given. That means it has to go through the whole conditional use process that's in our ordinance, which
Yeah.
means it comes before the council to say yay or nay to whatever's proposed.
I think that's my concern, like, we don't know if it should even come before a council, because our town so far has not permitted it for a reason. And for us to just go ahead and permit it now, because there's a business owner who already knows that that was not permitted when he bought it, I just think they were jumping in a lot quicker than we should. So I'm just suggesting, until we can all do our due diligence and possibly speaking with Alpine, who just had a bunch of apartments above their commercial property on the Junction Road going, and that was just annexed in, maybe asking them a few questions about it, because those changed already quite a bit since they were built, would be wise. And at least getting the Bitcoin approved, because that is a main concern, I think would be the better way to go.
So in the current process that's outlined in the ordinance, the conditional use would come before the planning commission, who would make a recommendation, and then it would come to the council. We also have, I mean, I appreciate the, wanting to make sure we're gonna do it right, and we don't have, we don't even have a proposal to develop anything over there yet, right?
Well, and I think that is concerning too, because it hasn't really been discussed except privately with somebody, so I'm just trying to understand, like, what the point is to putting that in here right now, when I thought it was mainly the Bitcoin issue, because we're concerned about that, definitely, and I think we're on agreement with that for the most part. But then to also allow the apartments, it just seems like there's no rush, there's not a reason for us to feel the need to change that right now, and they'll have 3 readings, so we can discuss and do more due diligence on it. So throwing it in there right now without us even having, any issuance rules for it, I think it's.
So why would you want to throw it in on the third reading?
No,
not the
I don't
second?
want to do it on the 3rd reading.
But you said we could throw it in on, put it on, we'll have
It
3
will have
readings,
3
we can
readings
put
of
it
its
on.
own, of its own. I think we should
But-
go ahead and do the Bitcoin.
What are you going to do in this particular ordinance on the commercial property to say this is what comes into effect on apartments above or below? Because that's covered, it's all covered in other ordinances.
Well, you're saying it's all architectural, and I don't feel like it is, because it's going to impact our citizens a lot.
But all of the other things that you mentioned, the parking, the noise, the lighting, etc., is covered in other ordinances.
No, not for multi-family use, though. Not
It is
for
still covered
mixed
in
use
our
zone.
ordinances.
No, it's not. I don't feel like it is to the point where we can have a multi-family
So
unit.
what you are proposing is that we go ahead and add all of the noise ordinances, the lighting ordinances, etc., into the commercial?
I think it's gonna probably require its own ordinances, is what I'm saying.
I think the ordinances already cover it.
Not to the extent that you can have multi-family housing, or else we probably already would.
We
What's
have
mixed
areas
up?
in our zoning that do allow for residential and mixed use, multi-family or multi-purpose.
That
So
belong
there's,
to the HOA.
I mean, just within our code, our
Oh, I'm
land
sorry, I thought you
usage,
meant-
in our land usage, we have zoning districts and regulations for all those types of uses. You're right, we don't have any of those in town because we don't have the property for it to go on. The only property possibly would be here, if someone came in with a proposal and said, I want to put commercial down below and to make it viable, maybe have some rental space above, or, you know, I don't even know, short-term rental
And I
or.
don't think
so-
viable is the right word, because I know a lot of businesses that do well here all year round. So I think that's the other point, as a town, will benefit more from financially if a business is thriving versus if it's short-term rental. So I think that,
What makes you think it's gonna be short?
Well, I said that,
Well, I don't
I was
know.
thinking about
It's gonna be
that development in
rental.
Afton that has that
Yeah.
above the yogurt place has a short-term rental.
It'll be long-term rental.
It could be apartments, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a long term.
that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
if it's a rental, then it's not, going to be of any benefit either. It's the same as if somebody already owns it, which somebody will. So that won't be a benefit of the town. I'm just saying, I don't feel like there is a need to rush that, and if we can do it wisely as a town, it's better than just because we only have the 4 lots, it's only going to impact one person. If it is such a thing that it's needed to be done right now, I'm sure they will find their way in here and explain to us why it is urgent. But I think we should allot it its own 3 readings versus combining it with something that we definitely need to approve, at least
So
in my
don't,
opinion.
yeah, you just don't wanna change it now.
No, I'm not saying we won't in the future, but I also
Okay.
know that a questionnaire was just sent out for our master plan. I would like to know a little bit, I mean, from what I gathered in our committee 3 years ago, I know that is not something that was wanted by our citizens. So I appreciate that the business owner has purchased that and everything, but I'm more concerned about our impact on our citizens and our town, even aesthetically. I mean, most people that have apartments also have stuff to put out, and I mean, it's going to change things, especially at the entrance. I don't
If-
think that's been thought through.
Yeah, if we change it in the second reading, that's gonna raise a bunch of questions. The issue is, why not just get this through to get the Bitcoin thing
Definitely
off the
get that off
table?
the table.
I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through its own process when they come in with a proposal.
Yeah, or even before.
Even
that,
before,
There is
before,
something where we get from the master plan
It could
questionnaire or
be.
something.
Yeah.
See, I'm having a problem with this because Bitcoin is no longer an issue.
Then why are we changing it?
Well, we have the moratorium in place, plus the lots are no longer available, understood. But, I mean, to tie up the loose ends,
Well-
it seemed appropriate to me that we should make that a specific,
I
not.
mean, it has the two, it's the Bitcoin and then it's the conditional.
Mhm. And that was just because I felt like looking at it, the
So,
conditional
but if
use
we're gonna
wasn't
put in
defined enough.
conditional use, why don't we put conditional use on some of the, issues that are there as well?
Well, the question becomes is, do you wanna take the time to go through everyone and see which ones are, you know, no permitted, to see if you make them conditional?
So I have asked the planning commission
do it,
to do
but-
that as well, like if they had any other recommendations for changes to what's currently in this conditional use table. And they know that they've got, you know, until basically the 4th for anything they would recommend to go into the second reading. I haven't gotten anything yet, so.
I'm just understanding, or not understanding too, like the difference between we have a citizen who came in here and wanted to just, you know, increase their value of their home as well and their property and put a room above, and they're saying like, this is for my family, and that became a big deal for this council, or at least seems to be. And then we're discussing having apartments, which we don't have in our town, but actual people living there, and for the viability of a business, which I don't see that business having an issue.
Did you see the email from, Jim that went out today? That issue on garages and above the garages with apartments has not gone away. We haven't dealt with that yet.
So what is the difference? What are you saying the difference will be then when you have apartments on top of a commercial building? I'm not understanding.
Commercial is not a residential,
It will be if
Area.
you put apartments above it.
no, it won't. It's still commercial.
You have people living there.
Yes, but it's commercial.
Okay, well, you
It's,
can tell
it's a
us
rental
that.
piece.
I don't
I
think
think,
that's.
I think we're getting a little tied up around, so, you know, we have very limited commercial space here in town, and the way, you know, typically when a developer comes in, if they come in with a proposal, and the only thing we've seen, you know, we've had a conversation or two and a little sketch about some of the things they were thinking about, and there's been nothing since then. And all of that would come through the planning commission before anything got approved and come before the council for ultimate approval, but that we as a council too have to, like, are we ever gonna get this developed next door? You know, are we ever gonna bring in any amenities that the town wants, like a market or I'm just saying that typically these kinds of projects don't happen unless there's collaboration between a municipality and a developer.
Well, and I've already said, I'm not
So-
looking to hold them up, but if that's their only answer to a viable business, that is not beneficial to us at all. Because we need actual business that's going to bring in revenue, and I'm sure he feels the same way. And I don't feel like putting an apartment above commercial property is the only way to do that. I think that there are multiple other ways that I'm happy to work with them about, and maybe that too. But I think we need to do a little more due diligence before we're biting that off. And I would just like to keep what we already have right now so that I can feel comfortable voting the Bitcoin situation in as well. I don't understand the rush of doing that right now.
I feel like this is very like, we're just standing on the fence, like it doesn't matter, either way, it's gonna come through the council, whether we put it in this or not. To me, it's not a huge deal to change it,
But it
and
won't
it's
be
not a
impacting
huge deal
people.
to not change it, like.
Yeah.
So I could go either way on the whole issue right now, to be honest, I don't have a
Yeah,
really
and I-
huge stance.
I don't think that changing it to conditional is it's gonna make a huge impact to anybody right now. It's kind of opening a door a little bit to allow us to look at something if it were to come in, that is all. And that is not a check mark of approval for anything. If it was, we made it a P for permitted, that is a different story, then we
Well,
don't
I
have a
think
say.
Even the, like, conditional, I think that that still opens the door for somebody to come in and we don't have a say in everything. If we're saying it's conditional, we have to make points of why it would not be allowed. We don't even have something like that, like we have no issuance rules or risks or anything of requiring of them.
No, I mean, there's an entire conditional use approval process with an application and conditions
Yeah.
in our ordinances.
But
So,
I didn't feel like it covered
But do
like
we-
the public health, safety and welfare or what our citizens have already stated they want and what they may want in the future.
In terms of safety, it's gonna be far exceeding what your example was of putting a building, an apartment above a garage. Because as a commercial, that's gotta have commercial fire systems.
I'm well aware what it's gonna
So
be.
your safety is gonna be a whole lot higher.
Yeah, I'm really happy it's gonna be safe enough for the people that are in the building, that's great. But I am talking about 2,000 other citizens we have and the impact it might have on them.
The more I think about it, if you change it here to conditional, then we have to prepare ourselves to say why we wouldn't do it if it comes in. If we leave it alone here and we get the application that says, hey, we'd really like to do this, then we'd say, well, it's not permitted and we've got to go through the process of understanding. I'm good with that. If you guys, again, to kind of put this, let's get this through and done, and then we can revisit it if it happens. We don't even know if it does. But if we've changed it in here, then we're signaling that there could be a door open. And we just don't know yet. If
so we
even want that
don't
door
know
open.
if we want
Question is,
development.
Right, no, the rooms
That's-
above.
That's what that says to me.
Well, it's the rooms
So-
above is all
So many
I'm
other
thinking,
options
I mean,
than
that's all I'm
apartments
thinking.
above.
right, with resident, with, whatever you wanna call it. You know, somebody could live above.
And
I don't know.
do also feel like this was the ordinance when it was purchased. I can't imagine this is, his whole plan is contingent on that, or else that's a whole nother issue.
He
We already have
mentioned
this
it
in ordinance.
as a possibility.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but I would not.
That's what I remember.
He already
Yeah,
knows the county.
and to this whole council.
Yeah, and he
Yes.
already knows the county.
So I think we-
Why wouldn't you make sure first?
I think
I'm
we-
just saying, I think we're fine to say
Yeah.
no at the moment, and then in the future, reevaluate.
I mean, yeah, and I'm fine with holding it off if we want to and just waiting. Because again, the way it's written now, conditional use, that's the most important thing to me. Along with the Bitcoin, yeah, it's dead, but let's make it clear, conditional use permits is what we need in there. And we don't have that, so.
We do have that. That's.
No, I know, but I mean, this blue language, to me is the most important
Well,
part of
and,
this ordinance.
but that part, this conditional use process is already in our ordinances. It's in a different
Yes.
place than here.
Yeah.
This is just adding
To
a
the
little bit
commercial
more about it,
facility zone.
yes.
Yep,
And
yep.
the conditional use process that's in our ordinance applies to every zone.
And it's just making it very clear,
But I-
it's
Yes, that it's in the commercial
consistency,
zone,
consistency
But
across.
if we're going to allow something like that, we probably do need to elaborate on our issuance rules. And I feel like, because those rules were set before we were allowing apartments. So if we're going to think about doing that, we do need to, like I said, do the due diligence throughout the whole ordinances to make sure.
Yeah, keep in mind that you can put a 600 square foot building on your property as long as it does not exceed the 40% non-permeable space. Look on Amazon, 600 square foot house is $12,000 and they will put it on your property.
No, without a permit.
What is that? Yeah, I
No,
was gonna say,
but if the permit says a 600 square foot building, and that's all it says,
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
There still can't be living space though.
Feel like we need to.
Yeah,
by whose?
By the ordinance, you can't have living space that's not in the primary dwelling.
right. I can't, a guy across the street can't build an additional place on his lot.
I mean, we wouldn't even let a gentleman
That's
who wants a
600 square
bigger building do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just a little confused of why we're in such a rush to do this part.
Well,
So if we can.
to move on,
hold out-
I propose, let's just kill it. Let's leave it the way it is, the way it's written. Unless you guys are, you know,
If he wants to come in and talk to the council, I mean, I know enough about businesses and seen enough built and fail that, like, if he has ideas, I'm excited about that. I just don't know that it's our place to put that in there quite yet.
And again, I feel like changing it to conditional is not going to
yes.
cause damage at this point in time, if that's what, I mean, or make anyone
Then not.
have any
doesn't
impact to them.
either.
So, what's that?
Then not doesn't either, right? Like not changing it doesn't really make an impact either way either. So I think if we can at least hold out a little bit to do the due diligence on it. Because I really will have a hard time explaining to a lot of the citizens I know that that is what we're doing to the floor.
I guess that's the question. Is there an urgency to try to get that in there now? I don't know why it would be urgent. Now, if you guys tell me, here's the reason,
I just thought since we were going through and changing
doing
the
it
ordinance,
once. Yeah, more efficient,
Yeah.
to do it one time. But there's probably other ones in here, back to the point, we should probably spend more time on as well.
Well, that too, yeah. That might help them more than the ambulance.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, we spent more time on
I
this than
didn't
we did
get
on
dinner.
spending lots of money on equipment, so. All right, well, we'll get the second reading version out. There are gonna be some probably wording changes from the planning commission based on,
Okay.
you know, they're wanting some clarification on more detail on the conditional use process itself.
Good.
So, okay, moving on. This one's gonna be quick and easy. Grants and Town Commons, the Vista Park proposal, I don't think we have any new information on that.
No.
Not yet.
A lot of stuff, a lot of disasters lately.
Yeah, so we haven't-
I haven't worked on that at all.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten any further as far as getting the application done or getting sent in, but it's still in the works, so. Okay, all right, any other questions about that? Sorry, we don't have more information on that one. I added it, like, we thought we might have a little bit more, but
That's
events overcame things, so, all right, moving on to number 4, matters from the mayor and council. Councilman Bitter, what do you have for us?
I don't know, I just went blank.
He just wants dinner. Okay.
No, I think we've talked about everything that I had on my agenda.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for working on the policy
no
document
problem,
too.
we'll get that out before Friday,
Okay,
back to you.
and Councilman Ellis,
nothing,
Councilman Toolson.
I have two quick things. I don't know if we've talked about this, but so the money so Lucky's is in a huge dire financial strait right now. And I was just curious on like some of where all of the money that we take to license dogs, that kind of thing, where that goes, what that goes into. So we charge people to come and get their dogs permitted here. Do we give any kind of kickback to Lucky's when they take the animals in? Is there an opportunity to do so in the future from a council side? I've heard that they're having, they take in everything, and especially with our community, that's where they go. So kind of more just a
I don't know.
beginning of a question.
I don't know if from an administrative standpoint, if there's any, fees or anything that we pay them for, whenever Jim interacts with them for dogs or things. Not that I'm aware of.
Because the county pays them, I
Yeah.
think, but they only get like 300, less than $300 a month, that's
Really?
what they were getting last year.
And I believe as a municipality, we are constrained, we cannot make donations with town funds
So like
to,
our permitting money,
is for our internal administrative
Yeah.
process.
You can't reassign it.
Yeah, so we're a bit constrained. It doesn't mean that we couldn't try to include something in the next newsletter. We've done little things in the newsletter before about Lucky's, and especially when they were, really in dire straits, looking for people to just come help walk dogs and things like that, so that's one thing I can think of. I know that's not really great, but we could at least put the word out, I guess, that they're
They
looking
were
for
to
help.
do, a fee to us, I'm encouraging that really, but if that was the way it was worked, because I just feel like a lot more people would probably pay for their tags and everything,
Mhm.
if they knew that it wasn't like, we're just, I mean, not that it's that much money, but we're not just keeping it, if we're doing, I know we can't do donations that way, but something where it's also going to benefit Lucky's. I just didn't know.
like they go pick them up. I mean,
They should, I feel like,
Like,
they're
we have to
taking on that
pay
expense.
Lucky's to go get their dog. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
I had a
that's an
citizen
idea.
bring it up to my attention, and I was like, I'll bring it up at the next meeting.
Mhm.
Although people, they might be afraid that they won't come pick up their dogs
Yeah.
at Lucky, if they have to pay, so maybe there's something else. But we can look.
I was gonna say, let's put thinking caps on and see if we can come up with
That's good.
something creative, so, because they do a lot of great work, and it's
Yeah.
sad to hear that they're
And especially if
having
we're
to struggle.
taking
Yeah.
our animals to them
Yeah.
to deal with for the day or whatever,
Like all,
all the time.
yeah.
The
Okay,
other thing, Sam Marquis, a realtor around here, she's hosting a luncheon with realtors in the valley up at Three Canyons on November 4th. She's asked if anybody would like to speak about our town to the realtor. She said it's pretty like informal. I mean, she asked me and I was like, I can, but I also wanted to give that opportunity out to you guys if anybody wants to join the fun. That is election day, and I was like,
it is, isn't it?
what are you guys be doing?
Oh, what day is it?
November 4th. So, if anybody wants more information, would
Okay.
like to speak.
Thank you. Anything else? Nope. Councilman Merrill? Nothing, okay. I have a couple of quick things. I got an email from Mayor Simpson in Thane. Actually, he emailed all the mayors in the county asking if there was any appetite to take another crack at the special purpose tax, which would be for next year's election. The mayor of Kemmer was all in. Saw a couple of lukewarm responses from Afton and I believe Alpine, but my response to him was I'll ask my council. We haven't really talked about that since the last election, but any thoughts on us
What was
trying to go
what was
for
the
that?
margin? Does anybody remember how close it came?
Not close.
It was like
I know, but
60% against
like,
or
yeah,
something, I think.
it was-
Yeah, it was
it was
pretty
quite wide.
substantial, yes.
They'd have to do a much
And
better.
we don't have to decide tonight, but I just wanted to throw it out there that that's percolating again, so,
Yeah, the problem is only 40% of the residents of Lincoln County are in a city.
but yeah, so that's, if you're not appealing, well, that's what was tried last time. I mean, Thane had a proposal for a community center, I think, or a new recreation center. So I don't know. I just feel like the climate's probably not great again, but,
I think if we can get the county commissioners more on board, I
Mhm.
mean, they just didn't
Right.
contribute in
Yeah.
that regard at all to
Mhm.
like even make the unincorporated areas feel involved or excited about it, so maybe starting this early too would make a difference, because they started so late last year.
maybe if the county would get those cool Craig snow gates on their plows as part of their spec, then maybe that would go over in the county, I don't know. Yeah,
Well, I think it's a wide chasm to.
yeah, all right, well, if,
It's gonna happen.
well, I'll let you know if there's any more rumblings about that, but I did want to bring it up. And then the only other thing I have is I do have a plan trip to be out of town next week, so Councilman Ellis is gonna be Mayor Pro Tem next week. There's a water board meeting on Tuesday, but I don't think there's any other, and the NRB meeting on Thursday, yes. Those are the two board meetings, but as far as council, we don't have any meetings this time, so I won't be missing that, but just wanted everyone to know. Any safe drowns? Okay, could I get a motion to adjourn?
A motion that we adjourn. You knew I was gonna jump on that, didn't you, Katie?
Councilman Bitter has motion to adjourn, seconded by Councilman Toolson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.